So, ladies and gentlemen, there is someone that has not been in the YouTube boxing scene for the last year and a half, I guess, maybe a little bit less time than that, but it feels like a lot longer because he was legitimately, regardless what you think about his Brachiosaurus neck, and I can't really talk because look at mine, the man Bryce Hall is potentially getting back into influencer boxing, and me personally, I think it's a good thing because Bryce was cringy, yes, he was one of the most Jake Paul wannabe characters. If you made him in a video game, it'd look just like that if you dyed their hair brown. But he gave effort when he was trying to promote his fight with Austin McBroom, and that's something we're missing in influencer boxing. Apparently, he's come back with a vengeance, and he's feeling that itch. Not the one he gets in Vegas when things go awry at the casino table and he needs to let off some steam. I mean, to get back in the influencer boxing scene. So, what are his actual boxing skills 1 year after being beaten by Austin McBroom in Social Gloves 1? I don't have those answers, but it's time for the breakdown. Let's go. Okay, so let's see, man. This is Bryce on the mitts. This mitt, obviously, it's looks nice. It's an old leather mitt. It looks like it looks like a catcher's mitt, but I don't know who he's working with here. But let's take a look and see if Bryce has gotten any better. Okay. Okay. I'm mad at it. It's a terrible uppercut. I'm more concerned about that jab to the body. It's not bad. So listen, it could be a lot worse, chat. If you guys remember when Bryce first started, there was a lot that he had to work on, and it does seem like he's worked on a little bit of it. I genuinely think this Bryce is a guy that does have a little bit more of a natural aptitude to fight. Maybe not box, but to fight. Like mindset-wise, I don't think he's a guy that really like goes in and quits. Like the Austin thing, he was just getting beat up. He wasn't like ready to quit on the fight. He wanted to keep going. It's just he didn't have the tools to be boxing. And it seems like he still has some issues picking up some certain things, but other things have gotten better. Now, let's talk about this uppercut off the backhand, right? It's, like I said, it could be worse because there's not as much slap as he used to throw with things. A little bit more rotation with the hip that we like to see. Just feels a little bit disconnected. Upper body from lower. Upper body's going first and then following with lower versus lower body initiating and then upper body finishing. He is using his hips, though. We see this lead hip get involved here, right? Problem I have when we throw this shot is that when we step off center line, they think the need to generate punches comes from just leaning and throwing. Lean, throw, versus it really is just a hip action. Because this movement is just a big tell that, hey, I'm going to throw an uppercut slash hook here. So I'm getting off center line without really any mass. And maybe that's just the point of the drill is just him throwing this uppercut. He's not masking it with anything. But still, it's a big tell to be like, hey, here comes the uppercut. But it's good power and it's good rotation in the hips. Like, you guys are saying, oh, you know, Bryce, suck, whatever. It's not not a terrible uppercut compared to the stuff we used to throw. I'm really involved with this. Hip flexor and glute getting involved here, right? I'm going to go full physio therapist on you guys. Ready? Bang. It's not bad. Right hand, a lot better than we saw last year. Gotta quit closing his eyes when he throws them, but still. Frame, boom. Okay, nice. Left hook could use some work still. We're still working on that. But it's, again, thrown a lot more solid than other guys have in our scene. What I mean is, this comes pretty much parallel across. He opens it up super wide, so you kind of see where it's coming from. But again, that's not the point of the drill. He's throwing big time power here. Does have some hip activation. Twist on the lead foot. Again, you don't have to have it. And sometimes I'm even a fan of not doing it, just twisting our hip. But it's a good reminder, activator to throw. Boom, underneath. That's a good shot, guys. Still some issue with the backhand uppercut, right? We're punching to the pad. I'm digging the right hand, though. And again, you see a little frame off here, a little feint with the jab. Huh? Hey, sits down on that one. I'm not mad at that. Hey, nice little jab. All right. Got some issues with the jab to the body here where it's a little bit labored, you know? You see him kind of just reach out and touch the jab. Damn near broke his wrist doing it. Boom. But also, it's a lot, right? We're elongating a lot just to land that shot. And here's where those counters can come in, because while Padman here is not going to counter with his lead hand, he absolutely can. He doesn't get super far over his lead foot. It's just he gets stuck here. Yeah, you can get out of range, but not only is this not in the right place, this not in the right place, this having to come back to the right place, but also the counter right hand over it, this not in the right place. There's a lot that he can improve there, but the jab to the body is it's one of those ones, the jab to the body, that takes a little bit of mastering, because you're not only changing level and throwing your jab, but you're throwing it to a target you're not used to hitting with your lead hand like that. Boom. See the difference in the jab upstairs? See the difference in the level of requirement it takes, the level of commitment it takes from him? Look where the hand is. Good backhand. We're not too overexposed and overextended with a lead foot. Still got balance, so when we throw, we can return. Boom, right back to stance. The difference, right? A little bit slappy with the lead hook there. Where that pad is held is not where that shot will go. So Bryce, and you see the difference, and the one he threw earlier was more up here. You saw a little bit more of a parallel throw versus him scooping this hook. And again, where it lands, where this pad is not where the gentleman will be. So throwing it to the pad almost builds bad habits too, because see, that's the slappy hook we're talking about versus turning that over. I'd like to see him throw this, and if it is just gonna be that slappy hook, to follow up with this one down the pipe, because that's essentially what he's setting up. That's why you throw that. If you're gonna throw a lead hook by itself, that's fine, but if you're gonna do it while coming into range, boom, you're setting up the right hand behind. I'm really liking the backhand. Shoom, straight through, not overextending. Oh, we can sit here and say, yeah, Bryce is not a naturally gifted boxer, but who really is in the influencer boxing scene? And this, again, he's a pretty powerful guy with a little bit better technique than I think the last time we saw him. Yes, it's just the pads, and sometimes those things fall apart and deteriorate like his hairline did years ago when it's actually in the ring, but that isn't the point of this video. The point is, I want to see Bryce back in. He looks like he's interested in being back in the influencer boxing scene. But the question is, with that little bit of footage that we've seen and what went down on Twitter because of this footage, which we'll take a look at now, who would Bryce actually fight? Well, one option is the man himself. Knowledge, strength, integrity, the man that they call the Nightmare. My legacy will be fulfilled. KSI, right? This was the back and forth that went down between those two yesterday. First time putting on the gloves in a year. I missed this shit. Take the gloves back off, mate. Pretty good. Bryce came back 1 year off, still managed not to throw elbows. We should do an MMA fight since you got it like that. See, here's the thing. Bryce would love to fight. If this was MMA, like YouTuber MMA, Bryce would be a guy that you would put your money on, especially at that weight class, because outside of him at that 170 kind of range, I don't know a lot of guys that have grappling experience. Maybe if Overt Flow could get down there. Obviously, Sensei, if he wanted to do that, would be a monster. Bryce had some, I think, high school wrestling. Obviously, again, not the most high level, but no one will be in our scene. But as far as actually boxing, KSI comes back and says, honestly, Halal Ham would destroy you. You stink, mate. Stay on TikTok. Hey, Halal Ham's pretty decent, and he's training with one of the better guys in the scene. I can't show you guys what actually happened after that because it was very graphic. Someone edited one of the posters of KSI and Logan's Prime stuff, and I can't show you that on stream, but it was wild. By the way, Bryce said he had an announcement coming out soon. Nick LMAO is saying he had a video coming out on Tuesday, I think, about his next opponent potentially. I'm just saying. Bryce, I think, hovers around 170, maybe 160s. Nick fought Jay at 159. Yeah, Bryce could easily come down in weight. Once he actually starts training a little bit, he would come down. Ryan Taylor's one that they've been trying to set up for a while now. It doesn't seem like that's happening. I don't know why. Honestly, the one that I would want to see, if it's me, and it won't happen, is Bryce Hall and B-Dave. That, for the build-up, would be hilarious because they know each other. B-Dave, I guess, used to be a part of Bryce's crew or used to hang with him or something like that. They've both talked about it, but Bryce, again, saying B-Dave's not on his level. That would be a banger, though, because both guys would entertain the shit out of all of us in the lead-up. Bryce Hall, Nick LMAO is a fun one. Bryce Hall, Deji. I think Deji would probably be down for that as well. Bryce Hall, Swarms. There's so many options. All I'm saying is, Bryce, if you're watching, and everybody else that is too, don't forget what this man did with his promotion. Yes, the tactics were a little bit cringy, and yes, it all reminded us of the worst parts of, I don't know, shouldn't even say the worst parts. It reminded us of YouTubers and imitating boxers or imitating tough guys, and Bryce did that better than really anyone else. He pulled numbers to that Social Gloves event that me personally, I don't think would have been anywhere close to what they got without Bryce. No shot at all. They would have done millions on their press conference, millions in the build-up, millions in the aftermath, and millions illegally because Austin McBroom doesn't know how to put on his own event. But putting out the bat signal now. Bryce, come back into the influencer boxing scene. Who against? When? Why? How? I don't have those answers, but hopefully this year, I guess we'll find out.